What's up everybody? Today we're going to be doing some basic maintenance for the Infiniti Q60 vr30, which is going to be turbo replacement. So to start off, we took off the front windshield plastic piece here. We're going to take off these plastic pieces right now. We took off the intakes. Next we're going to discharge the AC system, then take off the harnesses right here, take out the battery, disconnect the fuel, the brake booster, everything. I'll try to document everything as much as I can, but this is my first time dropping an engine, so this is going to be a learning experience for me. So we got the intakes off, and it's pretty simple. You just unbolt this and then you pull it out, and it should be the easiest part of this whole thing. So far we've drained out the system. Took out this hose right here that connects right there, and I drained the system by disconnecting the hose on the radiator side that's up there. And I also took out this screw right here, comes out with a Phillips, and everything drained out. The key to draining it out is you just take these cups off so you'll release the pressure, and that's pretty much what I did. For the turbo cooling, I just took this off with it, and once I took this hose off, which goes right here, most of the coolant went through. All right, so what is disconnected so far? To start with the wiring, I disconnected the battery. It's a terminal that goes right here. You disconnect it and you move out of the way, put on top of the engine. These three plugs right here, you disconnect them, and then you move. And also you disconnect the computer, and then you put it right here on top of the engine. Then you have this harness right here, which you gotta remove this plastic piece for. You disconnect it, and then you disconnect this piece and this small one, put it on top of the engine. Of course, you gotta take out this rubber right here first too. Next, we disconnect the fuel, and then we disconnect this right here, put it on the side. We come to this side, our brake booster, you disconnect it from right here, put it on top of the engine. Then you gotta disconnect this hose right here. Let me shine some light right here. There's two on each side. That's the one right there, and the other one I have not disconnected it yet, but there it is. What else? That looks to be everything. I'm gonna do some more looking at and see what else I gotta disconnect. Of course, disconnect this right here from your cooling system. Of course, I removed this ground that's right here. I disconnected the AC from right here, and I disconnected the lines from right here. All right, so I kind of forgot to record a little bit, so I'm just gonna go over everything I did on the suspension side. So first, I took off the caliper. You take the caliper and I chose to mount it to the upper control arm, so it's not dangling, there's no pressure on here. Second thing, you take off the speed sensor. Then you unbolt the bolts here. You take off this bolt that sits right here. It looks like this. And then I take off the lower control arm bolts. Same thing on the other side. Caliper off. And then control bolts off. This bolt off. And the bolts on the strut is off. Also, let me get my light to sit correctly. If you look over there, I've already disconnected the exhaust right there. So, as of now, I'm now gonna call my friend for help because I don't wanna drop the motor alone. Just in case anything happens, I want somebody with me. Now we have Ihsan. He is disconnecting the drive shaft. And this is the shifter for the transmission. We put it in neutral, then we put it in park, so now it's locked up, and we can take off each bolt comfortably. So when you want to drop the engine, the 4 bolts you're gonna need to take off are the K-frame bolts. There's one here, and the other one is right there. Another one here, and here's the 4th one. Once you do that, everything should drop. So you wanna, I'm using tires. You wanna set it down on the tires on both these 4 and lift up while watching for lines and see if anything's still connected. Transmission, on the other hand, is right here, 4 bolts. For this one, you wanna support it. So I got this wood right here. I'm gonna use that jack to jack it up here to support the transmission. Take off the 4 bolts and then lower it. The transmission will not fall off, but it will tilt, which is what you're looking for. So the engine is officially out. As of right now, I want to go home. But tomorrow, we're gonna start taking off this turbo. I have the turbos actually inside the car and the gaskets. Both sides are getting replaced. They are right in front of us. And tomorrow we're gonna finish it and hopefully put the engine back together. All right, now it's the next day. This is part 2. We're gonna take off the turbos, swap them over, swap over the gaskets, and then continue, put everything back together and see how it goes. Right now we're removing the turbo. So disconnect the wastegate sensor, disconnect the intercooler. Right now we're disconnecting the coolant line. We also disconnected the catalytic converter. And Hassan, what else did you disconnect? What else did you disconnect? O2 sensor. لانات مادين فتحتن.
لا بعد هذا الموديل.
Alright, we have the oil line that goes the top, and then one on the bottom and one on the back side. Alright, now we have taken the turbo halfway out by disconnecting this coolant line right here. This one goes right here on top of the turbo. So now we can reach that back bolt, which is right here. Alright, the turbo is fully out. Now we're gonna swap over. We already swapped over the speed sensor because the one that came with it has some damage. Alright, the turbo is officially out. So here is our old turbo. We're just gonna swap over. We already swapped over the speed sensor, and we're gonna swap over this line into here. Then we're set to go. Swap over the gaskets. I do have a gasket set. I'm gonna swap this one out. I'm gonna swap this ring and every line right here. We are in our final step right here. We are just bolting up. Every line was changed, or not changed, except this one right here. We changed the gaskets on it. We changed the gasket on this one right here that sits on the block, I guess. We have just the turbo gasket that sits on the exhaust. We're gonna do that last because that's the last step, and we're doing downpipes anyway. So as of right now, everything is good. We've connected everything. Our speed sensor, we did swap it because the one that came with this turbo was broken. This is just a little bolt, just to take out. Nothing too serious. You're probably not gonna go through this issue, but an extra step, I guess. Yeah. All props to this guy for helping me. Alright, we're now almost done taking out the second turbo. This first turbo, all good to go. We put on our downpipes too. Here's our old turbo, and if you look right here, you can see the damaged fins. Can't really see it. Yeah, there it is. Damaged fins. So this side is done. This side, we're almost ready to take it out. We've taken off all the bolts. The turbo's, we've taken out all the bolts. The turbo is loose. And yes, almost there. Turbo is out. We're swapping over the hose because ours is not coming with this hose. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We put on the new gasket, of course. We're about to put everything back together, and after this, the motor is going back. All right, right now we're gonna take off the AC compressor, mainly because we can't reach the hose that goes all the way back. That small hose, you guys see the thin one? We can't reach it. And we're gonna take off the AC compressor so we can bolt it up. All right, turbo is on with the downpipe. Now, the only thing left to do is to put on this AC compressor with the belt, and we're officially done. All right, we have now installed the turbo and the downpipe. Both of them are installed. It is nearly 2 a.m. It is late. So, with everything installed, we're gonna now lower the car, bolt up the subframe, the struts, and everything should be set to go. We're bolting up the transmission, and after that, yeah, engine is back in. All right, as of right now, the motor is in. Everything is connected. In terms of control arm, not all of the suspension is connected. I still need to connect the upper control arm, the calipers, and the strut. Still not all the way through. But in terms of the motor becoming one part with the car again, that's done. It is late. It is nearly 3 a.m. if you're counting time. I'm done for today. I'm gonna go home. It's late. I'm gonna come back tomorrow. This, unfortunately, is becoming a 3-day thing. And hopefully by tomorrow, I can put all this stuff back together and the car will be running. All right, we're officially done. Tire is on, suspension is connected. We just poured coolant in it. Everything I put back is the same thing I showed in the beginning of the part 1, or however I'm gonna post it. The same plugs went in, the same harness went in, the brake booster, the fuel line, everything's the same. So yeah, I'm gonna put in the battery now and hope for the best. All right, and now we just did the wastegate actuator. We just completed the test to relearn it, and we should be set. To bleed the turbo, you're gonna have to unplug this plug right here and turn on your ignition. Your pumps will start working, and this coolant you'll see start to go down. Now we're gonna start the car for the first time. We're expecting to see some smoke or for it to run a little rough. It is idling just fine. Thank God. There's no issues, no lights. Everything is good. It's actually very quiet. It's very surprising. These are full downpipes. A little smoke is normal. It is snowing outside. It's very cold, so I expect to see some smoke, especially when we changed the downpipes. We touched our hands touched it. And there's oil everywhere, so we expect some smoke. All right. We are driving the car. This is our first time driving it. Everything seems good. We do have a burning coolant smell, which is expected since we dropped it all over the place. But first drive is going good. Just making sure everything is good. We got good enough power. I don't want to floor it right now. Yeah, we got power. These turbos do feel different. They are a lot. This used to have boost issues, so this is a big difference. It drives great right now. No lights on the dash, no nothing. So this was a success. Thank you for watching. If you do guys have some questions about the process, I know there's some things that I might have skipped over just because this is my first time. But if you have questions, reach out. I'll try to help as best as I can. This has been a fun journey replacing the turbos, and hopefully now I can get ready to tune this thing.